Welcome to AFAC's #1 Stop to Entertainment and Trending News. Former Over 25 member Shikie, who we also know as Miss Tiramisu on her socials, took to share a very personal tragedy that recently happened. And for those who have followed Miss Tiramisu or Shikie, she is really private when it comes to her personal life. You get bits and pieces here and there, something that she's control over, and that is something that I really admire about Shikie. And so when you come across a video her talking something very personal and deep, then you do realize that it has taken her so much courage and thought to put it out there. And for those who have followed her, you do know that she speaks so highly of her mom. She loves her late mother. She has often posted some throwback photos of her mom and how her daughter, her last daughter that is, resembles her mother. But we never hear her talk about her father. And we just assume perhaps he's not in the picture, perhaps he's passed away. We don't know anything about him. And also people don't bother because that is not a part of her life that she puts there. And so she shares that she lost her estranged dad. And this is something that I think people don't often talk about. The fact that many perhaps have not experienced the loss of a parent who is estranged. I personally don't know how that feels. And someone who gave you life but is not in your life passes on. How do you grieve that person? How do the people who surround you help you grieve that person? And as Shikie takes to share how she lost her father, estranged father that is, about a month ago, she was going through an emotional turmoil. People who are surrounding her perhaps don't know how to condole her during this moment. Shikie also shares that this is more of a personal grief that you don't share with other members of the family. That is, if you are also not in much contact with that part of the family that you are estranged with. So you find that the people who are around you, your loved ones, don't know that person, they don't want that person, and you are left grieving alone. Shikie also touched upon the invalidation of perhaps how someone is grieving. Perhaps people don't expect you to be grieving much because you did not have contact with this particular person. You can't even talk about this particular person to people how you feel because you just don't want to explain yourself. And it somehow felt like child loss grief, or rather pregnancy grief, where a mother perhaps has carried her pregnancy to 9 months and unfortunately she gives birth to a still child, or perhaps she's lost a pregnancy 7 months, 6 months down the line. A mother has had a miscarriage, and people try to invalidate these mothers by putting out that at least you did not get to see this child grow up and then lost this child, you will have another child. Some people might put out it's just a miscarriage, the baby was maybe 4 months, 5 months old, you had not bonded that much. But what many people perhaps don't understand is that this person is grieving, and as we hear, a mother's bond and that love starts from the moment a mother knows that she wants that child and she's pregnant and she's expecting, she's excited, she's planning for this child, and you lose that dream that you have. And then all of a sudden people don't expect you to mourn that loss. People don't expect you to grieve so long because it was just a fetus. It was just a baby that you spent a few months with. And so Shikie does share that this particular grief was very difficult for her. And sometimes you don't even know how to feel about this person. And I want you guys to listen to just a short bit of what she puts out. And if you have time, please check out her Instagram so that you can get to listen to her and understand even how you can comfort someone who is going through such kind of grief.
Second very triggering word has been closure. A lot of my close loved ones felt that by attending the memorial, the funeral service, I would get closure. But I knew, and I still do know, that I don't think that's possible. It's very difficult to get closure when the person you're trying to get closure from is not around. Yeah, so closure, sad, have been very triggering words, even up until now. Yeah. Lastly, the most upsetting thing for me during this entire time has been that I actually don't know. The most upsetting thing for me has been that I am now left to deal with all the emotions, all the anger that I feel towards this person by myself. I cannot direct it to the person that is essentially deserving of it, or that it should be directed towards, because they are no longer here. And that sucks. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't know what exactly I'm expecting from this video. It's probably just me dumping. Maybe it's my form of therapy. Maybe it's part of my journey to closure. I don't know. But I am sharing. I'm sharing because that it's just what feels right now.
And so Shikie might not understand, why is this even video going to mean anything out there? I honestly felt that this particular video had so much power into it, not only for the people who are grieving estranged parents, also the people who do not know how to deal with someone who is grieving an estranged parent, and even people who have not gone through that or know someone who is going through that, to put themselves in that situation and imagine how that process is like. Because I really felt sad listening to her, and the sadness that actually comes with unresolvement in relationships or even maybe friendships, and one of the parties passes away and you're left with a lot of things that you wish you could have said, perhaps some closure that you should have gotten. And just wondering also, what if he had ever reached out to his daughter? What if he and his daughter perhaps might have gone through therapy together, had spoken about what might have happened in the past, the feelings, the anger that she might be having in her heart? Because the effects of this is not just Shikie. There are also her children who would never get to know their estranged grandfather. There's also that grandfather who never gets to see his grandchildren. There is a daughter who never gets to get the closure that she deserves, the answers that she deserves. So it's just sad, to be honest. But what I really loved about Shikie coming out and talking about this is her being a voice for people who are going through such pain and no one understands. And you could see even through her comment section, people coming out and even encouraging her, but also sharing their personal grief with an estranged person. And I wanted to see just a few comments, but I really love how her friends came through. Like Ivy really left a beautiful comment here, as you can see. Hey soulmate, what you went through solidified that grief is personal for me. I am not sure where you found the strength to hold me down and at the same time deal with your own loss. You are a special kind of human being, Slay. I am so sorry about this. Hearing you brave emotion to shoot this video is so touching. All I'll say is that I'm here, always love you. And we'll read this particular comment. Somebody wrote, oh man, this resonates with me so much. I've been grieving said parents since 2021, and let me tell you, after all the anger, the fighting away, the sadness you don't believe you're feeling, and being in a space no one else understands, all I'm left with is love. I loved them, they hurt me, they were human, that's the best they knew. I was used to them being absent in my life, but I will never get used to them not being here on earth. A parent/child bond I've learned will never be broken, even in the absence of a relationship. What a powerful comment. And even just people coming out and sharing how this grief affects them. This is something that many people don't talk about, and that's what I was saying, that Shikie putting out her personal story has really left people who have gone through this experience to know that they are not alone in this. Their feelings are not invalidated, and most importantly, people can understand what this kind of grief is. Someone else shared, in 2018 I lost an estranged parent. I did not attend their funeral while all my siblings did. I don't have anything to grieve as I only met that person 3 times my entire life. I sometimes think about it, but never in an angry, bitter manner, just sad for him. And someone else shared, thank you for sharing, because I was also battling the same thing and now I feel I am not alone. And this particular comment was not a comment of someone who has lost an estranged parent, but someone who has lost an estranged friend. And they put out, I recently lost a very good friend. We bury her on Saturday, and the most painful part is that I never got my closure with her. There's so much I could have wanted to say, but now I can't. Thank you for sharing. It feels comforting to know that the feeling is normal. And I know as we go through some of those comments, we know grief is very painful. It's a very painful experience, but to have an estrangement part topped up on it, I think that is also a different kind of pain that you need to deal with. And the saddest bit about it is that you will never get the answers that you want, you deserve, or even that closure. It is just a pain that you have no other choice but to learn how to live with. Want to send our deepest condolences to Shikie, and also let her know that her feelings are validated, her grief in her own way is valid. And please check out her video on her Instagram. She has a part 1 and part 2, so that you can get to understand those stages of grieving an estranged parent. We're up to date. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. For this and more updates, hit your notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified once you have any new uploads. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.